Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Tara Ghazi, co-founder and chief business officer of MALCOVA. Today, I'm going to share with you our breakthrough innovation in medical imaging technology that is uniquely poised to resolve critical image-based needs in breast cancer and stroke diagnosis. So globally today, breast cancer is the #1 cancer among women, and it remains incredibly deadly. The standard of care for breast imaging in the US for the last 5 decades has been mammography. In mammography, a woman's breast is compressed between 2 plates, and a 2-dimensional image such as you see here is formed. Now for this woman on the left, mammography is effective. Her cancer is readily detected. But for the woman on the right here, a woman described as having a dense breast, mammography's lack of dimensionality makes cancer detection an incredibly difficult task. It's unable to distinguish between dense and healthy tissue and cancer. This is a massive problem because in the United States, up to 50% of women have dense breasts. So if you are one of these women with dense breasts, like myself, your odds of having your cancer detected by mammography are as poor as a coin flip. Now, my scientific background is in neuroscience, but you don't need that kind of training to understand how critical our brain is, of course. This is the organ that delivers our thinking, our reasoning, and importantly, our ability to communicate, our control of motion. By the time I'm done talking to you today, more than a dozen people will have suffered stroke in the US. Now, if they're fortunate enough to be rushed to the ER, the first diagnostic imaging that will be performed is CT. This is what state-of-the-art CT of the brain looks like. It is incredibly coarse, it lacks detail, it is nothing like the artist's rendition. Now, every minute after stroke, part of the brain is dying, and it is incredibly critical that you have as early as possible diagnosis. In this patient here, you can see on their arrival in ER, their stroke is not even really detectable. 24 hours later, there's massive cell death already. So across these imaging modalities, there are limitations that I'm showing you. We're all very familiar with MRI, a powerful technology, but it is not able to solve these needs. Not only is it exorbitantly expensive, it's incredibly slow. Okay, so this is not a solution. At MALCOVA, we have developed an entirely new form of imaging that's rooted in CT, called narrow beam CT. This is uniquely poised to not only resolve all of these needs in speed and diagnostic capability, but it's able to be a safe and priced point on par with mammography. So let me tell you how we achieve this. Our primary innovation is in resolving one of the critical limitations in CT. That is called scatter contamination. Our unique architecture, design, and method of image acquisition in CT allows us to reduce that scatter contamination by 90%. This allows us to open up the door to incredibly rich detail, where that detail is meaningful instead of just noise, as it is in regular CT. We're also able to move into greater dimensionality in imaging, beyond just 3 dimensions of space, to also analysis of information over time and different aspects of tissue. Critically, this is fast. Here I'm showing you when we image a large citrus fruit, a pomelo, the kind of rich detail that we're able to get with narrow beam CT. Now to make this meaningful, let's take a look at what we get with mammography, where the lack of dimensionality hides cancer. At CT of the brain, where the coarse information and lack of detail can make stroke invisible. And this is the incredibly rich dimensionality and detail that we're delivering with CT, with our narrow beam CT. So just because we're giving information doesn't mean a physician has more time. In the generic case, imaging here is the ground truth. We go through this process and the physician is presented with the outcome of that. And all they have access to is that outcome in order to try and establish what that ground truth is. What we're able to do with narrow beam CT is provide much richer dimensions of information. Not only are we providing the spatial, but information about tissue and that over time. Now, just because we give more information doesn't mean a physician has more time to go through that. And that's where our approach to AI comes into play. We describe this as a diagnostic agent that's able to parse this rich information and deliver the same quantity with far richer output in support of more rapid and accurate diagnosis. Here you can see our first product vision. This is the breast Monarch, a dedicated breast imaging modality. A patient is lying comfortably on this device, there's no compression of the breast, and there's rapid imaging. Here you can see our prototype in action where you see the engine of the device in play. We've conducted extensive customer discovery and design and development of this device pathway to ensure that the product we're developing meets the market need. Since our founding in 2020, we've gone through 3 generations of prototype development. We've established a very strong moat that includes a multinational IP portfolio. We've published extensively, and because we have such compelling technology need fit, we've been incredibly successful with government-based funding through National Science Foundation and National Institutes of Health. We've benefited from key collaborations with institutions such as Johns Hopkins and at present Stanford. My co-founder has deep expertise in the engineering and physics of CT, has more than a decade industry experience in breast radiology market. Myself, with my scientific background and business background, I help run the company and spearhead our visualization efforts. Our leadership team is trained at the best institutions and have more than 50 years of industry experience among us. Importantly, we're supported by a really stellar advisory board. That includes key opinion leader, Dr. Daniel Kopens, who is head of breast radiology at MGH for several decades, distinguished Dr. Niall, neuroradiologist at UCSF, and Dr. Kai Yang, board-certified medical physicist at Harvard. Our business advisors have had successful exits in our target market and extensive experience in the medical device space. This is our timeline ahead. At present, we're raising to support our key milestones over the next 18 months, which includes finalization of our device and getting through our upcoming clinical study with Yale University. Our beachhead target is the US breast imaging market, where the more than 8,500 imaging clinics and hospitals nationwide are our target customers. Because our technology is CT-based, we are able to price point our device at high-end mammography prices. And again, it's just as safe. There are existing reimbursement codes for this product. So at present, we are raising a $2 million seed round in order to achieve milestones ahead. We're eligible for a 100% funding match opportunity on this, and we're pursuing an exit strategy of M&A around the time of market entry, which right now we have forecast at 2029. Our most recent and relevant comp was the acquisition of an imaging company in 2019 by Stryker at $500 million. We are here interested in connecting with investors, fellow innovators, and anybody that would like to join us on this journey to solve these needs. Thank you.